This service with a prayer, and I open this prayer with what I know to be the most potent words I can speak, that we can speak. Thank you. Thank you for this community of warm and friendly souls. Thank you for our relationships with others, even the brief ones, even the difficult ones, and especially the loving, healing, and close ones that mean so much. Thank you for the peace we find here each Sunday and spread throughout our communities during the week. Continuing this prayer, I recognize there is only one God, known by many names, but still only one. One Father, Mother, Parent, Creator of the one life, and that life is divine, complete, and perfect. And it is my life now and the life of all people, all animals, all nature, everyone here, out there, everywhere, and all of us coming together, united as one family. So from a place of celebrating all of our connections and knowing we are intimately one, I declare our hearts and minds open as we show up here this morning to learn the spiritual principles that form the foundation of our faith and to trust what we know is true of spirit within us today, tomorrow, and eternally. And so it is. All right. Good morning, everybody. You're looking good this morning. Welcome to the Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. I am Pat Ferguson, your spiritual director. This is the spot each week where my message is to welcome you and welcome you back to a place that I hope you have come to form a deep kinship with. We have all kinds of relationships and connections and associations, and your church home is one of the best. LCSL has been around for at least 14 years, so if you're a regular, you've probably been pretty comfortable here for a while. If you're newer, we hope you can see and feel the benefits of that same sort of cozy bond that we all have. And in just a few minutes, Vicky's going to tell us more about relationships and how and why we come together the various ways that we do. As is my custom, I open my morning prayers before service, and I do this to welcome the day and my week and to light our God candle so that it will be shining brightly and warmly as each of you come in. I hope it's the first thing that you see and notice, and I hope you feel that welcome, because welcome you we do, no matter what denomination you came from or were brought up in, or even if this is your first faith experience, all are welcome here. And as I always say, the most important thing for you to remember is that you are welcome here. Join me in saying our mission and vision statement, please. To teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God. In our vision statement, our vision is a world that honors and respects all people. Okay, so our party starting song this morning is This Moment by Kylie.
In this divine moment we come to express all the love flowing out from our hearts. In this divine moment we know we are blessed for being right here where we are. In this divine moment we open our hearts, we open our minds to know who we are. In this divine moment we listen, we sing, we let the love bring us right now to this moment, to this moment. In this divine moment we breathe in the good and release any thoughts of unrest. In this divine moment we pray all as one and expect perfect peace, nothing less. In this divine moment we open our hearts, we open our minds to know who we are. In this divine moment we listen, we sing, we let the love bring us right now to this moment, to this moment, to this moment, to this moment.
The universe loving itself is expressed as my self-love. Welcome our practitioner of the week, Tammy Sevenville, for our spiritual reading and meditation.
Good morning, everyone. My reading this morning is from 365 Science of Mind. And this is the book that Dr. Edward is using every morning for his meditation. And it's a pretty good book if you've never read it. It's a pretty good book. Today's reading is from September 20th, entitled, I Recognize That My Unity with All Humankind is of Divine Origin. I believe there is but one spirit in which everyone lives, moves, and has his being. In this spirit, I am directly unified with all people. I recognize this spirit as individualized in everyone. Therefore, I am learning to see every person I meet in the light of this divine and changeless truth. There is one spirit diffused through all humanity. With this spirit in everyone, I hold communion. I feel the presence and the activity of the divine mind. In the blessing of friendship, I sense its love. I am separated from none, united with all, and one with the eternal light itself. As I go among people, I know that the presence of pure spirit within me, which I recognize, blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to every day in which I live. Our meditation for today. First, I want to say that I'm your practitioner of the week. So I started praying for you all this morning with my prayers, and I will think of you every day this week and hold your needs and prayers with me. Our meditation this morning is loving kindness meditation. Practicing kindness is one of the most direct routes to happiness. Research suggests that kind people tend to be more satisfied with their relationships and with their life in general. We all have a natural capacity for kindness, but sometimes we don't take steps to nurture and express this capacity as much as we would so today, in honor of our theme today, this Sunday, You and I Are We. My meditation will be a shortened version of the loving kindness meditation. We will be mentally sending out goodwill, kindness, and warmth towards others by repeating a series of mantras. Get comfortable and take a few deep, relaxing breaths and let us settle in. We will start with blessing someone who we feel has our best interest at heart, someone we love and who we know loves us. Choose just one person and bring them to mind as though they were seated right in front of you, smiling at you. May we be happy. May we be peaceful. May we be well. And may we live with ease. Bring someone to mind who needs your prayers right now. Choose just one person and bring them to mind as though they were seated right in front of you, smiling at you. May we be happy. May we be peaceful. May we be well. May we live with ease. For our last blessing, we will be blessing ourselves. And so we say, may I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be well. May I live with ease. And so it is. And have a blessed day.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you for joining our Rainbow Connection this morning. I am so tickled to be able to be with you all today. I am Vicky Jeter, a practitioner for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, and I have been anticipating today because the topic is a lot of fun. The talk title, as you've heard, is You and I Are We, which thank you so much for that meditation, Tammy. That was just perfect. Most of you know by now that this month we've been exploring relationships overall. Last week, our dear friend Louise Talon did an excellent job bringing us clarity about how our stories about ourselves and others form the basis of our relationships. One of the most significant points that Louise highlighted was developing interdependence. She said, the second step in expanding vital relationships is to develop interdependence. If all of life is relationship, it's a good idea to remember that none of us can exist without cooperation of others, people, animals, plants, bacteria, viruses, and so on. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, the first object of contemplation is our own person. You're conscious of the presence of your body in form, feeling, perception, mental functions, and consciousness. You observe these objects until you see that each of them has intimate connection with the world outside yourself. If the world did not exist, then you could not exist either. Interdependence is recognizing and functioning with each individual part being essential to the whole. This is demonstrated creatively in this short 2-minute video that we're going to watch. Our discussion about the balance in relationship between the individual I and the collective we will follow the video. And before we start it, I want you to just take a moment to relax a minute, tap in to your playful, creative imagination to have the most fun with this video. And don't worry about it if it feels like you didn't catch it all the first time, because we're going to watch it again toward the end. So Vernon, if you would please take your time and start the video.
Grab that box of popcorn and settle down in your seat. We're going to the movies. Tonight, the Ohio State University Marching Band has you taken to a big-time halftime of Hollywood blockbuster. Look, up in the sky.
So that little pause is just to give us all time to simply enjoy sharing the smile together. I'm so grateful that we have regular sharing time because it'll be perfect. I can't wait to see some of your impressions. So following from that, you and I are we. With respect to the precious part each of us is in this life, we are each like a member of that band, each one individual and also an indispensable part of the whole. So let's look at this in 3 ways, with the video as an example. First, unity in action. Second, the balance between individuality and oneness. And 3, the power of perspective. So personally, my most favorite aspect of this marching band is it demonstrates unity in action. Science of Mind fully recognizes our unity and oneness with divine source, and we teach that concept and name unity as the second step in affirmative prayer treatment all the time. But this is a demonstration of unity in human action. People achieve things on a grand scale, putting unity into action when we function as a unit. A marching band is a unit. Members of the firehouses are a unit. There are military units. Our families can be a unit when each member of the unit does and lends something toward a whole in such a way that it serves a larger purpose than any one could do on their own. This principle in practice is also so important to approaching the solutions that our society is looking for here locally, nationally, and globally for the challenges that we're facing. Each band member here knows their part to fulfill. They know who to stay in sync with, side by side with each other. They know when and how to keep tabs on the conductor for the unified synchronization of the whole band. They've practiced individually and together for hours, probably hours on end, to ensure that the intended universal expression manifests in the form that they intended. The result is a beautiful expression of oneness for the band members and for the spectators equally. Now, imagine what would happen if in the midst of all that moving and formation, even one individual was suddenly overtaken by the desire to express individuality, to jump out of formation and express uniquely their own personal thoughts and feelings in that moment. What happens to the unit? What happens to the intended expression as a whole? Of course, in order for an intention greater than the sum of individual parts to be achieved, we have to be willing to suspend individual thoughts and actions. But on the other hand, in human terms, does it work to think about living as a unit in consciousness in our daily lives? As a band member, just imagine, after the event, would you continue to wear your band uniform at home and continue to walk and step to the rhythm of their performance? No, not for long anyway. So if you and I are we, and we are intended to know that and apply it in daily living, how do we strike the balance between the individual I am and the collective experience of unity in oneness, all as one in the frame of the marching band? The good news is it actually does not have to be either individuality or unity. Spirit actually expresses both throughout creation. There are times when I need to take care of myself first and take action on what I need and want, expressing myself uniquely. When my basic needs are met, it's easy and joyful to consider what you need too. And then there are countless opportunities, really, probably that don't quite get talked about enough in this way. There are countless opportunities in our world now to take part in our larger we, to participate in larger goals and visions shared in common. As larger collective opportunities develop, we set our individual thoughts and feelings aside in order to bring our indispensable part to create the whole. We can participate in the good of the larger whole more often than we think, perhaps, even if it's not part of a creative project. So one example is when we're benefiting from the use of public property, like a park. Public property is for everyone. Public property is a space for we. And these times when we might need to shout down our lazier side and do what it takes to leave the space nicer than we found it, for example. I think, like me, most of you probably remember being raised on that principle, and I hope that it's a principle that's still carrying through for our kids today, because it's that kind of thing we really need to get back to. So, as I have meditated on this, it occurred to me that we can find that balance by asking the creative question, as Reverend Alma and other speakers have suggested in recent weeks. In various situations in our daily lives, we can ask ourselves, is this a time and place for individuality? Or is this an opportunity to be like a band member and participate with the larger picture in mind? A wonderful example of this for LCSL was when we had our 10th anniversary celebration. I think in 2019, might have been 2018. Pat did a fantastic job conducting a number of teams and orchestrating that celebration. And each team member did their part beautifully. So now I want to take a moment to share the inside track of how one of these fabulous band performances comes together. As it happens, praise God and glory, hallelujah, I did not realize this until I was already developing this. But one of my brother-in-laws, one of Vernon's brothers, is a band conductor, has been a band conductor. And it's a great analogy for how we co-create. It has elements of universal creativity and individual creativity and how it all works together. So Vernon's brother Chris was born with a passion for band. He played the saxophone in a marching band that did these kind of performances. And he went on to become a band conductor at a high school in Texas for many, many years. So he has intimately experienced the whole picture. He said it all starts with the band conductor and the band director drawing up elaborate plans like very detailed blueprints. These plans have two levels to be correlated because the music and the movements have to be synchronized the whole time. On a printed version of the field that's going to be used, each band member is numbered and marked with a little X. Then, much like cartoon drawings that are sequenced for motion, there's a page for every move to be made. There can be hundreds of pages involved detailing every move. Then everyone is given a copy of their part highlighted to practice. When practicing together, they piece the performance together in sections, perfecting one part and then the next and the next to weave them all together incrementally, gradually. He said the most important things are that each person focus on performing their part well. On the field, it becomes all about trust. He said you have to be able to trust team members closest to you, especially the one you are immediately following. He said you can't be concerned about what anyone is doing on the other side of the field. You have to trust in what you can't see and do what is yours to do within your sphere of influence. That's in relationship to the one you're following and in relationship to the one who is following you. Then he said something profound, because you have to understand he did not know exactly what I was asking them for. I told him I was developing a presentation, but he said the most difficult and detrimental thing that can happen to one of these beautiful performances is if band members don't really trust the conductor. Distrust of the conductor can cause hesitancy and or an increased tendency for people to get out of step trying to make it happen their way. This is exactly what happens when we distrust spirit. I asked him if the band members had ever the benefit of experiencing the full results of their creation so that they can see it prior to the performance. He said, yes. At some point, the conductor and the director go up into the stands together, leaving the drum major and the band on their own. From a bird's eye view up in the stands, it is recorded for the band to be able to see what they've done before the actual performance. And at that bird's eye view perspective, where every part is realized as precious, perfect, and in divine timing, it is certainly like spirit in, through, and as each of us and all of creation. With both the conductors and the band members' perspectives in mind, let's watch the video again.
Grab that box of popcorn and settle down in your seat. We're going to the movies. Tonight, the Ohio State University Marching Band has you taken to a big-time halftime of Hollywood blockbusters. Look, up in the sky.
So, oh my goodness. Coming from the perspective of home office, who had the idea to develop this theme from the very beginning, a world that works for all requires a level of consciousness that has never existed before, because the rate of change and complexity we are living with is unsurpassed globally. Never have so many people had the news, mass information, and an abundance of social connections readily available daily. If we are to manifest a new world that works, we must evolve into a new consciousness, a consciousness that calls us into deeper levels of connection in person and via technology. When the pandemic pushed us farther apart physically, we came together virtually in creative and powerful ways. Today, we are called to connect, communicate, collaborate, and cooperate with others in wonderful and meaningful ways that nurture, empower, recognize, and engage ourselves with one another because of the unconditional, unchangeable, irrefutable, and irresistible power of love. So, as you move through various experiences this week, check to see if your perspective is individual or if a shift into the opportunity to be like a band member is happening for the larger whole. When you find yourself wondering what you can possibly do to make something better in your experience, remember that each and every step you take with the larger vision in mind makes all the difference. As each of us comes to realize this together, we embody the change we wish to see globally. Now, with all of this swirling around and moving through each of us in both individual, unique ways and a collective way, anchoring it in affirmative prayer. I identify this space as rich and unconditional love, the love of spirit, the love that ignited the life that is each one of us, eternally and everlasting, all at once the same and unique, and all right here, right now. And as I recognize the one love, the one law, as the all that is all, I am that, as is each person within the sound of my voice, now or in the future. The I am that I am, and the all that is all at the same time, in mind, heart, and soul. And from this alignment, I realize in my experience that each person is being met in spirit where they show up, and that in this moment, through this sharing, through this time, all of us is being leveraged to the next step, leveraged to the next opportunity, leveraged to the next level of awareness, that even when we don't see it, there is always so much more going on than we can see with our human senses, and that we come to trust the universal conductor, realizing that each of us is, in spirit and soul, the director. Yes, spirit is the conductor, and we are the director, and together we co-create. And in spirit, regardless of appearances, all is well. And so for this time, for this knowing, and this fabulous opportunity to trust the process more deeply than perhaps ever before, thank you, thank you, thank you, presence of life. I just release it with the heart of a child. I let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you. Now it's time for our prosperity affirmation. Baskets up. I see Vicky's, and I know Pat's got hers. You can look on the chat screen to see the different addresses and ways you can donate. We appreciate your donations more than we can say, because it keeps our center open and thriving and going. And we thank you very much. I will say our prosperity affirmation, and then we'll say it together. I am grateful, free, and abundantly blessed. Yes. And if you'll join me, please. I am grateful, free, and abundantly blessed. Yes. Thank you. And on to Pat for blessing of our donations.
All right. One God, one life, one supply. Thank you for being the light within that halos our time, talents, and treasures, and causes us to understand that the flow of all three from us is the same flow that circles back to us multiplied. We are grateful to be blessed in such ways, both as a center and individually. Blessing the gift and the giver, I offer these words to the law that only says yes, and I release them there to become evident. And so it is.
So it is. Announcements. We just have one announcement today, but it's a pretty big announcement. Next week, our speaker will be Doug Iverson, and his topic will be You and Me Create Society. Thank you. And the most important thing after that is for you to know you are magnificent. You certainly are. Thank you.
You really are magnificent in every way. So our closing song is Love is My Decision by Daniel Naiman.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
There are no strangers here, only friends we haven't met. Ending this service as we began, for the collective I say thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for helping us remember that how we live day to day and generally show up in life tells people a lot about not only ourselves, but our religious philosophy. Thank you for reminding us that we do need each other's assistance, love, and kindness to help fill our own tanks of compassion. Thank you for helping us connect, communicate, and collaborate to nurture and empower each other and the world. We are indeed blessed to have this day, our yesterday, and all of our tomorrows rewarded by our interconnectedness. We are simply blessed all around, and we know it. And we appreciate all that we have and all that we can be when we come to accept not only who we are, but whose we are. And on these and multiple other gratitudes, I joyfully lift these words of unconditional and irresistible brotherly and sisterly love up into a law that takes it automatically and impartially and makes it happen. And there I release it. And so it is.